pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
A little bit
foul from the one.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the HOBO Racing Cup Series presented by Team Speedlan. Folks, we are so glad you're joining us here tonight from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. As always, my name is JoeTowNetwork. I'll be your host up here for tonight's action, calling all of it out there on this beautiful mile-and-a-half speedway tonight as we enter our race preview presented by our friends with AutoSim 2. Remember, AutoSim 2 is now out and available on Steam for $9.99. 94 laps tonight from this Homestead-Miami Speedway for what promises to be an exciting race, a track where these drivers are going to be able to move up and down the banking. We've seen some good ones in the past here with our friends at the HOBO Racing League, and we're looking for another great one here tonight. This Cup Series winds down their season. Only 2 races remain after tonight to crown your 2023 HOBO Racing Cup Series champion. We'll talk about the points as we go here tonight, but wanted to first encourage you at home, if you haven't already, make sure you click the like button on the video and subscribe to us here on JTN. You want to make sure you stay up to date on all the action. That's the best way to do so. Make sure you're subscribed and you click the bell icon to be notified anytime we go live or new content is posted right here on our YouTube channel. Drivers being called to their cars for qualifying. So qualifying is underway here. That gives us a good opportunity to thank tonight's presenting sponsor, Team Speedlan. Of course, Team Speedlan celebrating their 25th anniversary here tonight. Steve Grant, of course, leading the way in that number 11 in opening practice here tonight. Bob Gibson, Randy Smith, and Wiley King and Jason San Diego all here tonight. See Greg Zinzowski in chat as well. A great group at Team Speedland. Again, cannot thank that entire group for helping bring us to the racetrack here tonight and cover some of this great HOBO Racing Cup Series action that you're going to see live here on JT, and giving us some great content too, by the way. But again, 94 laps here tonight. See Greg in chat. Welcome, welcome. Again, congrats to Team Speedland on celebrating 25 years. A long time to have a team, something going. We hope we are only half as lucky here on JTN to at least have this thing going for at least 10 years. That would be great. But welcome in, Ann. Looking forward to exciting night up here in the booth as well. It's just me here tonight, so we'd appreciate it as always. And I say we, it's Bristol and I. Of course, he's running all the cameras and stuff, but when I'm flying solo up here in the booth, we always appreciate you guys being active in chat. Remember our new promotion. Anytime you say good Bristol is a good boy in chat, Bristol gets a pat on the head after the stream. So, you know, you can make me stay up all night. Put Bristol is a good boy in chat constantly. Can't delete it. Got to leave it in there, but you put that in chat, it does gets Bristol some extra head pats. Greg, I couldn't tell you what I was doing because I wasn't born. Man, yeah. I can tell you what I was doing 23 years ago. It was a whole lot of crying, probably, and not knowing how to use the bathroom. Bristol is a good boy. That's correct. Yeah. I was not even a that was not even a thought 25 years ago, let alone active in this community. So, yeah, I've even seen a lot, right? Bristol is still a good boy. That's correct. I can tell you what I've seen in the last 10 years. I've been sim racing for 10 years now. I use the term sim racing very loosely because I don't think I've raced all that much in the last couple of years. But with what we have going on here on JTN, that's maybe putting myself selling the house a little bit. But you're seeing qualifying results at the top of your screen. They're kind of trickling across your screens at home. You're seeing all these drivers come across there. But qualifying has concluded, so I'm going to take you through tonight's starting lineup. It's the points leader, Keith McLean, Mac Daddy on the pole in the number 28 with a time of 28.865 seconds. To his outside, it'll be the 31 of Jeff Stakanis, who was so quick last week in Las Vegas, but came up short, fell outside to the back half of the top 5 into the back of the top 10. Herman Reese going to line up in third tonight in the 73, one of his better starts that we've seen in these last package of races here on JTN, with Fugate in the number 9 to his outside in fourth. Row 3, first of all, Team Speedlan cars, the 11 of Steve Grant and the 4 of Matt Stern. Duke Sorensen and Troy Donahue in the 59 and 81 round out row number 4. And rounding out your top 10 tonight's the 07 of Steve Rubino and the 78 of Ryan Johnson. Maverick in the 23, another one of your Team Speedlan cars. He rolls off in 11th, newest member of the team, with Rick Castle in the 124 to his outside. Row 7 is the 44 Dan Rubino. He's your last car to take a time, 29.617 seconds, with Ken Hansen to his outside in 14th. 15th is going to be the 00 Gary Jackson with Eddie Rayleigh in the 112 in 16th. 17th is DJ Henske in the 14, and Bob Gibson, one of the Team Speedlan cars, in the 46 lines up in 18th. Rounding out your top 20 tonight's the 029 of Julian Wilson and the 22 of Jason San Diego. Randy Smith, Wiley King, and Rod Weston round out your field of 23 cars here tonight. Strong field for our friends here at the HOBO Racing Cup Series and HOBO Racing in general. Remember, if you want to get in on the action, HOBO Racing is fun. Head on over to HOBORacing.com to find out more. I've seen Steve putting out some feelers in some of our NR groups on Facebook and those message boards. Check out HOBO Racing. It's open setup racing here on Tuesday nights. Got some fixed setup stuff as well. If I'm recalling correctly. Things get so cross-wired up in my head, but open setup here at the Cup Series. It's a lot of fun. Not a lot of open setup leagues still out there, so it's always fun to still have this last big element of engineering or research and development. Kind of what makes this sim fun. Greg and Chad, it was really cool when it first came out, and when we could run with others online using dial-up. It was really awesome. Dial-up was the one. And again, I'm like making myself sound silly young, but I still remember the dial-up. I still remember the as I'm trying to make my best AOL online, American Online sound when you boot up the computer. I think that translates. Of course, folks, feel free to correct me in chat. 25 years went by, and here we are. Yeah, hey, they go fast. They go fast. The years are going by quicker and quicker. With each breath we take. That's a little, Herman Reese out there in the 73 Cadillac. Herman looking for another strong showing here tonight in the 73. They didn't have the finish they wanted last week. Wanted to get a W. Jessica Kennis, Dan Rubino. Rubino, of course, involved in an early incident with his brother Steve 1 week ago. Sorry, Bino, had to bring it up. Oh, he gets contact with Jessica Kennis. He's into the outside wall. Oh, man. Bristol is a good boy. Say it loud, say it proud. Who else we got out there on check? See Maverick driving with Steve Grant, a couple of Team Speedlan teammates there. 25th anniversary logos on the hoods this year. Got the white spoilers to boot. Got Bob Gibson right behind them in the 46. There's Wiley King in the 925. Team photo. I don't know if anyone else yells that when they're around their teammates. We always did back in the day. Again, Bino, stay off the walls like sand. He's trying. He said he's trying tonight. Got to talk with Bino down in the garage area. Don't think he took my lighthearted jabs. I think he took them a little too seriously. Points leader Keith McLean in the 28, Mac Daddy as he likes to be called. Hello, Barbara. Thanks for tuning in. Down there on the apron. Car's going to have to pit going into turn 3 here tonight, so that'll be something to watch. Those Pontiacs coming down pit road. Billy Wilson there in the 029. Have to think he's going to be a player by the end of this race. That's Team Speedlan 123 in practice here. Draft plays a rather large part. And what we're gonna see here tonight, but we're ready to go racing here for 94 laps. Drivers being called to their cars as we await the command to get engines fired here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Regrid them. We await the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
Drivers get their engines fired. We roll off here. It's the points leader, Keith McLean, rolling off on the pole. Jeff Stakenis to the outside. Herman Reese, Jeff Fugate make up row number 2. Row 3, Team Speedlan. Team owner, Steve Grant in the 11 and the 4 of Matt Stern. It's then the 59 of Duke Sorensen and the 81 of Troy Donahue on row number 4. Rounding out your top 10 tonight, Steve Rubino and Ryan Johnson. Again, field of 23 here tonight. Gonna be a good one. Folks, 94 laps around the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Only one driver, though, can win this thing. We are in for a marvelous show. Sit back, relax, get your favorite drink, get your favorite snack as we get ready to go racing in South Beach. Dodge Charger pace car will make the hard left turn down the pit lane. Keith McLean will have control here for the start of the race behind the wheel of his Evan Williams Ford. green flag. We're racing here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Saw Herman Reese able to get up into the second spot there through turns 1 and 2, and Jeff Sikenis is going to go around right in front of the field. Fugate collected up in it. Caution out here for the first time tonight. Sikenis around, collects Jeff Fugate. Folks, you saw it live. You'll see it again. Cars slip sliding around. Prestige Worldwide, Dodge just going for a spin. Lex Jeff Fugate up in it as well. Be on board with Fugate here. They're powerful Mopars, quick cars. Going around early on in this one, lap 1. The name's Speedlan. Here's your history lesson tonight, folks. The name is Speedlan for Team Speedlan. Was derived because Steve Grant's racing handle was speed. He built a local area network, LAN, of computers at his house where everyone would meet to race. Actually, Greg, I heard everyone went out to a fine dining establishment last week and met up. Don't know if that can be confirmed or not, but that's kind of what's cool about sim racing. You got groups and you got teams like Speedlan that you form more than just a basic connection on the internet where it's just, you know, someone that you're an acquaintance with, you talk with. A lot of these drivers, even if they're not necessarily teammates, you hang out with the guys that you race with so often. You become really good friends from it, and you get to do cool stuff like that. But, yeah. I don't know. Caleb, we miss you out there on track 2. Thank you, Ann. Glad I'm sounding good. A lot of late nights and Waffle House visits. I wish we had Waffle House up here. Well, we're not so lucky. But, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Greg. You know, not everyone gets that with their teams. Welcome in, Kevin. Bristol now has 2 head pats tonight, or 3. 3. Yes, 3. First caution of the night, Jeff Sikenis goes around in turn number 1, brings us under yellow flag number 1. That's what first caution would imply. Good job, Joe. Keith Klein out in front after starting on pole. Herman Reese there in second. Steve Grant, Duke Sorensen, and Ryan Johnson, your top 5. C. Rubino there in 6th. Trey Donahue, Maverick, Dan Rubino, Rick Castle, your top 10. Should be getting the 1 to go here from our Dodge Charger safety car. Get the go-ahead to go back green next time by. So we'll go back racing with Keith McLean out in front. He's holding on to an 87-point lead over Fugate. Herman Reese is 112 back. He's second right now on track. After that, it's Ken Hansen, 114 back. Caleb Lingle, who isn't here tonight, was 121 back. Steve Grant, 122 back. Jess Kennis is 153. Ryan Johnson, 142. It's starting to turn into now or never for some of these drivers. With only 2 races after tonight, they're going to need a bad night from this 28 team that has had a few of them this year. So get ready to go back. Green flag racing coming to lap 6 and 94. Keith McLean with control, and back away we go once again here in Miami. Ryan Johnson able to get on by Sorensen there for the 4th spot. Clears up off of turn number 4. Sorensen battling back on the outside, though. 78 not clear just yet. Big send down into turn 1 should clear the Buffalo Wild Wings Chevrolet. Ryan Johnson. Have to be careful, though. You don't want to run the bottom too much. It's going to heat up the tires. It's going to wear those tires out. Here comes Sorensen. Going to look back to the inside, heading down into turn 3. This is the battle for the 4th position out on track. Looks like it will subside for the time being. Ryan Johnson can get way wide there off the corner. Keith McLean stretching his lead. Everyone else just single file behind the race leaders. As the battle starts to brew for a second between Herman Reese and Steve Grant. Grant launches a little high there through the center of the corner. Going to try to reverse diamond this car. On exit and develop a run. Wasn't able to. Such a fine line that you're going to run here tonight at Homestead. You say, Joe, what are you talking about? These guys, they're running in the middle of the racetrack. Well, the middle of the racetrack isn't as wide as you'd think it is. Looks like the 11 car a little bit stronger in turns 1 and 2 right now. The 73 stronger down here in 3 and 4. Ryan Johnson going to start to put his hat into the ring for this 2nd position. The 78 closing on the 11 here. Each driver's still at a point where they're trying to feel the race car, feel the racetrack, figure things out. The 11 with another big run down the back straightaway. Can't really do much with it. Going to stay right in the tire tracks of Herman Reese. Herman gets up the track a little bit. I believe this is going to allow Steve Grant to move to the inside here off of turn number 4. It's going to be a drag race back to the line. 73 with momentum from the outside line. They're still side by side down to turn 1. Herman Reese concedes the spot. And here comes Ryan Johnson now going to look for 4th as Steve Grant moves through for 2nd. Excuse me, that's the battle for 3rd now between the 73 and 78. Johnson has to get back in line. Herman Reese can relax for now. On my screen, the middle of the track is about 3 inches wide. Well, you know. It's a fine line. Maverick in the 23, starting to apply some pressure. Steve Rubino in the 07. Rubino looking to rebound after a tough week last week. Was out of the race less than 20 laps into it. The contact with Dan Rubino in the 44 sent the 07 into the outside wall. That was last week. We're in Miami now. We're east of the Mississippi. They got that battle going on. Steve Grant feeling pretty good. Has stretched his way away, himself away from Herman Reese. Arambino getting having some pressure applied from Troy Donahue in the 81 Little Caesars Ford. Further on back, Henske going on by Jason San Diego. Julian Wilson way up the track in the 029. That's that car further back in your picture. He is slow down the back straightaway. Randy Smith going to look to the inside of his teammate San Diego in the 22. Looks for this spot. We'll take it. Riley King looking to the inside of Gary Jackson for position. And down into turns 1 and 2. And we saw a lot of speed out of these Pontiacs from Team Speedlan. And the Chevrolet. And the Chevrolets. Yeah, these cars mired deeper back in traffic right now. Ken Hansen looking to the inside of Troy Donahue. Donahue lost a spot to Rick Castle in the 124 while we were looking away. Here comes Hansen in the 94, going to make the pass. Back up front, though, it's still Keith McLean, the points leader with the race lead. Steve Grant in second. Herman Reese, Ryan Johnson, and Duke Sorensen, your top 5. Steve Rubino trying to find a way around. He is in 6th. Maverick in the 23, 7th. 8th is now Rick Castle as he makes the pass on Dan Rubino, who falls back to 9th. And Ken Hansen right now rounding out your top 10. Rest of the field behind them. Troy Donahue, Matt Stern, Jessica Kennis, Bob Gibson, Jeff Fugate, DJ Henske, Wiley King, Randy Smith, Jason San Diego, Rod Weston, Gary Jackson, Julian Wilson, and then back up front, it is Mac Daddy. Folks, we'd like to remind you, if you haven't already, click the like button on this live stream. And make sure you're subscribed. Again, doing those things helps support us so much here on JTN. We can't thank you enough, as always. It is a huge help any way that you happen to support us, whether it's chatting with us here tonight. Make sure you say hello if you haven't already. Also, you can say Bristol is a good boy. He'll get an extra pat on the head, of course, for each person. Each time someone says Bristol is a good boy in chat. Hi, Larry. How are you? Long time no see. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. Miss seeing you out on track. Glad to hear everything. You're doing well, though. Let's kind of see. C. Rubino has moved up into 5th. Maverick now 6th, as Duke Sorensen has fallen back into 7th in this 59 car. Probably about 6 to 8 laps away from green flag pit stops for these leaders. Maybe you can go 10. Our math is often very flawed here on JTN. Thank you, Greg. You guys are so nice to me. Tire wear is moderate. We saw some cars pit after about a lap and a half of running. They haven't really made up the ground that I think they were hoping to. So it's not as egregious as some of the other tracks we've gone to, Larry. But it's still Homestead, and it's still a mile and a half, and it's still one of these tracks that we love running here at Hobo that have enough fall off. I can tell you pole time was a 28.6. Right now, the leaders are running 29.5s. Their best laps are in the 29.2s. So about 4/10 of fall off here. Call it 23 laps into a run because we had some caution laps in there. So nothing egregious, Larry, but nothing. Still something that you're gonna watch. If you're out there for 15 laps, you're probably gonna want to pit. But maybe if you're out there for 4 or 5 laps, maybe you can take a swing depending on what your track position looks like. We are seeing something happening though. Steve Grant is closing in on leader Keith McLean in the 28. So is Herman Reese. They're both running about half a tenth quicker a lap. And Keith is your points leader coming into tonight. In this 28 car, 9 wins on the air, looking for that 10th W. So McLean still out front. You're starting to see this 28 car. He's searching towards the wall a little bit. You know, if you're a NASCAR fan and you watch the races here at Homestead, these drivers, they get right next to that wall. It's not the same thing here with our friends at the HOBO Racing, in HOBO Racing at the Cup Series. Because, again, NR2003, it's a sim from 2002, 2003. These tracks are this track is 2014. Everything isn't one-to-one. That's what I'm getting at. Numbers and code, and they can't really, with this game, in this time, I can't do the same things that like an iRacing can do, where they can really accurately model not only what the tire wears like and temperature and heats up like, but also the way the track changes as the event goes on. You know, we're not gonna. The track is the track for all 94 of these laps. Rubber doesn't get laid down on it. Nothing changes about the racetrack. These cars, they're going to be running, they're going to be able to run the same lap times throughout this race. The track conditions aren't going to change because the weather, it's fixed, which that just means we set the temperature, we set the wind, we do all that fun stuff. So things aren't going to change for these drivers. So what can you change? You can change the way you drive the car. You can change little things on the setup. Is Keith McLean going to pit from the lead here in the 28 on lap 31? McLean down pit road. Fantasy racing. Oh, Auto Sim 2 is doing great. We're having fun. We're having fun with Auto Sim 2. We can't thank everyone enough that's gone out there and downloaded it. You can purchase it now on Steam for $9.99. It's out there. It's fun. It's great. Thank you. You see Steve Grant, Herman Reese both going to come down pit lane here. They join Keith McLean. Steve Rubino now takes over the lead in the 07. Ryan Johnson had pit. 78 as well. So the top 5 all in the span of 2 laps coming down pit lane. Here, Ken Hansen going to take the lead away from Maverick. Maverick had it for a set of corners, but this 94 car looking good on the long run. I believe one of those cars that pit under our first caution, which was only a few laps into the race, but still. He'll pit on lap 34, so will Maverick in the 23. Gives the lead to Rick Castle in the 124. Matt Stern in the 4 right behind him. Castle. So a pretty decent spread of laps for drivers to come down the pit lane. Matt Stern will come down pit lane. This is going to kind of wrap up our leaders. That's our top 10. Now all having come and got service. Well, let's see. And Keith McLean, who should cycle out as the race leader in this 28 car. Steve Grant, Herman Reese, Ryan Johnson. What we're looking at here, and just waiting for things to cycle out. Wiley King was the leader that time around. Randy Smith right behind him. Okay, just waiting for things to cycle through, waiting for timing and scoring to figure it out for us, so we don't have to. But again, do believe that this 28 is going to be your race leader. Gained almost a second on Steve Grant coming to pit road. Did a really good job being aggressive to the pit lane. Did somebody just pull a Kyle Larson and hit the end of pit wall? I don't think so. Now you got me worried. I don't think so. We're not missing anyone. I think everyone's still out on track. Julian Wilson going to try to go on by Gary Jackson in the 00. I tell you, that Kyle Larson incident was funny. Oh no! Keith McLean around. Later around here in turn 4. Caution going to be out for the second time tonight. Tank Slapper for the 28 brings out our second yellow. And that is going to be a major loss of track position. That car just broke loose on him through the center of turns 3 and 4. So the race leader around. Ugh. Folks, we're going to try to figure out if anyone hit the pit wall too while we're at it. All right, I think this is what we were seeing. DJ Hinsky here in the 14 gets really close and misses it. That was a good job. That was a few laps ago before the caution. So we're all right. Steve Grant going to stay out in the 11. See some split strategies here on the pit lane. Of course, Keith McLean having to come down pit road, cause a caution. Kyle Larson move, that's right. Herman Reese wins the race off pit road. Maverick, their second. Ryan Johnson, Matt Stern, Keith McLean, your top 5 off of the pit lane. And Steve Grant staying out in the 11. He had pit on lap 32. Should be able to make this race only on one more stop. Make it to the end on one stop, that is. So while we work this second caution of the night, it's a great time to remind you we've got more great racing action coming up here on JTN. TMP RV Solar Late Model Series heads to Milwaukee tomorrow night. Then Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series action heads to Martinsville. Of course, a very special event Saturday night, Danny Hardy Memorial Race from Texas. Those races all going to be live right here only on JTN. Great slate coming up here this weekend. We'll have Fast Sunday night as well. We'll have a couple nights off. Halloween coming up next Tuesday, and then we'll be live once again for BSR, the finale for the trucks, the finale for Xfinity on the Friday, and then the second to last race on the Cup Series. But great race action coming up here on JTN. You don't want to miss a second of it. Want to make sure you hit that like button and you are subscribed. Team Speedlan, Steve Grant out in front. Gonna have Jason San Diego, Wiley King, Randy Smith. They're gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. Lockstep, a blockade at the front of the field. Team Speedlan cars. Hey, you sponsor the race, and a big thank you to the Team Speedlan for bringing us out to the race here tonight. You sponsor the race, you gotta get your cars up front. And they're doing a good job of that here. Working our second caution tonight. Track position, I think, what these guys needed in the 22. Jason San Diego, Wiley King in the 925, and Randy Smith in the 10. Bob Gibson gonna get the lucky dog here too in the 56. So we'll move him back on the lead lap. And we'll get ready to go back. Green flag racing come to lap 43 of 94. Steve Grant with control here for the restart. And back away we go. Green flag once again here from Homestead. Field rockets down the back straightaway. See everyone going to be jostling around here in turns 3 and 4. How quick do you try to get back to the front of the field if you're Herman Reese, if you're Ryan Johnson? We got one down on the apron in turns 3 and 4. A big save from Bino in the 44. We'll stay green. We'll get you a replay here once things settle down off of the restart. Single file. Matt Stern facing a challenge from Keith McLean in the 28. 28 car goes on by the 4. Going to try to take the 59 of Sorensen with him here into turn 3. Ken Hansen also joining the fray in the number 94. Troy Donahue further ahead, trying to find a way around Fugate in the 9. Herman Reese joining this battle. Here comes Ryan Johnson in the 78 as well. Donahue gets a little loose. Going to slip up here. Going to be 3 wide off of turn number 2. Johnson on the bottom. Donahue in the middle. Here comes Maverick in the 23 to the outside of the 81. Donahue backs out. We'll keep things rolling into turn 3. They're going to be side by side for the 5th spot. Herman Reese to the inside. Jeff Fugate in the number 9. Reese takes the position. Here comes Ryan Johnson looking for 6th now. We got a crash there in turns 1 and 2. 3 cars around. Caution for the 3rd time here tonight. Matt Stern, Gary Jackson, and Julian Wilson collected up in this one. Also, the 46, Bob Gibson involved. Gibson looks to be a late spinner in the 46. We get a replay of what happened here to start this one. Stern went down to the corner looking to the outside. It looks like a Sorensen. Hard to tell from that view if there was contact between those cars. Gary Jackson goes for a spin. Might have been some contact with Hinsky. Bob Gibson also going for a spin, but I believe that was just for slowing down for the incident's sake. Had a driver 46. Yeah, that looks to be the case. Pick up what happened here with the 00 and the... No, he just goes for a spin by himself. And just braking for things, then gets hit by the 29. Rough hit as well. Yeah, there's contact between the 59 and 4. Yeah, there is. It's like Stern was just trying to get to the outside. One gap, 2 cars. That's how the cookie crumbles. And it crumbled all right. Oh, big hit there. Another hit. So 3rd caution of the night is out here from Homestead. 2nd one for a major incident with multiple cars. It's a good chance for all these leaders to come down pit lane. And it shows you how important those tires are. Ken Hansen with the strategy called 2 tires. Gets out in 2nd behind Keith McLean, who takes 2 to try to get his track position back. Steve Grant with 4 off of pit lane 3rd, so loses 2 spots. And then a bag of mixed strategies throughout the field. Urban Reese, Ryan Johnson, both staying out. We'll see if the 78 comes down pit lane. He's kind of shading to do that here. No, he's going to stay out. And folks, working our 3rd caution of the night here at Homestead. Can't thank you folks enough for tuning in here to JTN tonight. Again, make sure if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe. Again, doing so helps support us so much here on JTN. course, 1 week from tonight is Halloween. I don't know if anyone's got a good Halloween costume that they've ever done, or what's your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever wore, maybe? I don't know if that's a fair question out there. Or maybe that you had a friend or a child or parent wear. I'm gonna come in the booth, Joe. I haven't hit anything for this race yet. Uh-oh. AJ's gonna come into the broadcast room? This doesn't ruin everything. Oh, we didn't ruin everything. We're getting ready to go back green here. Herman Reese out in front of the field. We're joined by Julian Wilson, who was out there on track. Was involved in that last incident. Julian, can I call you KJ?
Yeah, it sounds weird calling me my name, Joe.
It does. I'm not the government, you know?
Yeah, don't use that government name.
But we're coming back to green here, lap 51, 44 laps left. And this one from Homestead. Herman Reese going to be leading us back to green. We'll get your thoughts in a second as the pace car is in. Herman with control here. Ryan Johnson, Keith McLean, Ken Hansen, Steve Grant, your top five. And back away we go. Great flag once again down into turn one. These cars will rocket into that first quarter. We'll see if they fan out on exit of turn number two. But for the time being, Ryan Johnson going to hold close and now look to the inside of Herman Reese for the lead coming off of turn number two. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway, battling for this lead. Where does the 28 car of Keith McLean go? Does he follow the 78? Does he... Oh, he just got in the middle and then he got loose. No, he's up the track into the outside wall. Goes our points leader. Keith McLean going to lose 2 spots there. Off the corner, race back to the line. Cautions out. Ryan Johnson takes the lead. We'll get a replay of the yellow. I mean, KJ, that was a... What a wonderful... Oh, man, big wreck. I didn't even see it. What a wonderful time to come into the booth for you, huh?
Hey, finally something I'm not involved in here.
Hey, you know. Jeff Sekenis down into turn 3. Goes for another looper. Steve Rubino's right behind him. Going to get collected up in it in the 07. Bob Gibson, Dan Rubino, big hit into the 07 as well. That's 2 weeks in a row. This one, not his fault. Big wrecks like this, KJ, I mean, we saw this, the first half of this race, relatively green, and now we've had a couple cautions quick. How challenging is that as a driver?
You know what they say, cautions breed cautions. Cold tires here is really, really loose. You got to really be able to hold some throttle in the corner, and when you bunch these guys up on restarts, especially we're after halfway, the intensity picks up a little bit, and that little give and take you gave on lap one, it goes away a little bit. So you're at the point now you're going to be fighting for every position you can get. And these restarts, it's the easiest time to pass somebody is on a restart. It's also the most treacherous time to pass somebody is a restart.
It's the onboard cam there with Bino down into turns 3 and 4. Heavy lick to the outside wall there. Also the big lick. That car almost went inside of the 07. That's how good the physics are, but... Now working our 5th caution of the night. A big incident taking out a couple quick cars. You know, if you're one of these guys towards the front, do you like the quick cautions? Because do they make your job a little bit easier? Especially if you stayed out, like in Ryan Johnson's case?
If you got a car like Ryan's got, I seen him pass Herman on the bottom. It's going to be hard to pass that leader here. And if you can run that middle to the bottom on restarts and fresh tires... The guys who have to run the top, it's going to be really hard for them to pass them. I think Herman, see Herman pit right there?
Herman did pit.
Yeah, a little bit of split strategy. You still got to pit one more time. It's just if it goes green, it's a matter of how long you're going to be on pit road now.
Barbara, I am so sorry. I think that's 2 weeks in a row that they've been in the same incident. Danny going to stay out there on track in the 44. believe Steve is out of this race. Rubino, that is, in the 07. Another tough week. No, he's been under the weather as well. Bob Gibson also out of this race. KJ's obviously out of this race because he's up here in the booth. You changed out of that fire suit pretty quick, huh?
Well, when you're that mad, it don't take long.
What went wrong tonight?
The green flag being waved. I mean, it was. Car was good. I got here so late, I didn't have time to qualify, so I started at the back. And I knew it was going to be kind of tough, so I was just going to ride around by my time, and I got turned after that first yellow and got put in the wall and had damage. Car was still fast. I was just down a little bit on power. After that first pit stop, I was back in the top 10, and then he seemed to go airborne again, I think. I haven't watched the replay yet, but I'm pretty sure I came off the ground. But at that point, Joe, I figured you're up here by yourself. I come up here and just, crash the booth for a little bit.
Well, you brought Bristol a treat, right?
Oh, yeah, you never come empty-handed. I mean, that dog does what? The production, the security. Is there anything that dog doesn't do in this
just the
state
talk,
team?
pretty much just the talking, but he can't, right? Like, if he could, he would.
Well, if the dog talked, what would you do then?
Well, dog's probably smarter than I am, so I guess nothing.
Well, the dog's probably smart enough not to come on here in the first place. Can't get in trouble if you're not here to say anything.
Exactly. Let me tell you, that's oof. So we'll go back green with 39 laps to go. Have a wonderful night, evening, Ann. Hope to see you in 2 weeks when we head to Martinsville here with our friends at Hobo. But you go back green, 39 laps. You're, 8 laps outside the window of making it to the end of the race? Any thought of trying to stretch it here?
That's too many laps. If you get another caution here, quick caution, you might stay out.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly then, but I think if you get a quick caution here, you're still going to pit and take gas. Field's kind of inverted a little bit here with all these couple quick cautions here. So you got people up front who weren't up front earlier. It's going to make it interesting. I think you got to get what you can get on this restart here, especially if you just pitted. That way, when you go to pit here on the green, you pit way less than that guy who stayed out and jumping.
Ryan Johnson with control here for the restart, coming to lap 56 of 94, 39 laps to go here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Green flag, we're back underway. Johnson gets all the way down to that white line through turns 1 and 2. Starts to pull away from Ken Hansen there in second. Steve Grant third. He's led a few laps in this race in that 11 car. Has been up front all night long. Troy Donahue there in fourth. Jason San Diego right now rounds out your top 5. We got one around. Sorry, KJ. We got 2 around. You got the points leader around. Keith McLean, he's into the outside wall. Randy Smith also involved in this one. Caution out once again. There's one of those quick cautions you were calling for. I believe Keith is out of this race.
Yeah, he's got a rough go ever since he spun on that pit stop there.
Randy Smith going for actually, he gets loose, and then Maverick runs into the back of him because he's loose and trying to save the car, so he's a little bit slower, and then Keith is just, he's there. Wow. KJ, I don't know what I just saw.
All I seen was the video cut out, and a guy was tumbling through the air. So I don't know what all you seen, but that's what I seen.
Oh, man. That's your points leader. Oh, he got towed back to pit lane. Ugh. That's not good.
Yeah, he had a healthy cushion. He could afford to have a bad race and not be disastrous, but now he doesn't have any wiggle room. I don't know if he's even going to be able to continue the race. He might be done.
Might be done. We'll be watching and waiting to see what happens. Slow-mo replay on board with the 28. Ugh.
Yeah. Get a report, Joe. Engine has expired on 28, so he's done.
He's done. Oh, man. Well, that changes things, because that was your dominant car in the first half of this race. He was your pole sitter. He's your points leader. Still should be your points leader after tonight. Herman Reese there in the 73 came into the race 112 points back. Fugate in the number 9 was 87 back. Fugate down on pit lane. He's had a rough night. You see the damage there on that sun drop dodge. Current race leader Ryan Johnson was, I read the chart, 142 points back, so win tonight could help him cut into that points lead. Steve Grant lost 3 spots last week after a tough run in Las Vegas, but 122 points back. Ken Hansen's also up there, 114 back, so a lot of drivers with an opportunity to make points up on the leader, but that's not the only story, right, KJ? Because you also got guys around you that you got to somehow find a way to get around in the points.
Yeah, this really opens the door for everybody who was on the fringe of either being eliminated or needing a miracle to get back in this thing. Now with Keith's accident, it brings everybody in that top 5 right back into it again. Now the people who were just riding around hoping to get good points, they see Keith out, their mindset's got to change. Hey, I got to maximize point the thing. Like Herman needs max points to really cut into Keith. You don't want to go into Phoenix needing 30, 40 points. You want to get it where it's only a couple spots.
Mm-hmm.
Do they do the traditional points here, Joe, or is it the new points system?
So we have a 10-race playoff chase format.
I'm just looking at points. So if Herman was to win and Keith being where he's at, that's like an 80-point swing.
Yeah.
Roughly.
That would get him within 7. Oof. Yikes. You're a little scared if you're the 28 team right now, right? Because that 73's been quick tonight. I mean, he's got race-winning speed in that car, or at least top 3 speed. Things what the target's shifted. It's moved.
Yeah, and Herman's been super consistent. He ain't been flashy. He doesn't go out there and just win every week, but he's solidly at the front. And hopefully he continues at the night to make it a points race. Because Keith's good at Phoenix, but you don't want to go into Phoenix having to beat that guy or having to win Phoenix. You want to go in there where you got a nice little cushion, you can afford to do something. Because next week's Martinsville, it's so hard to pass there, and it's all track position. One mistake on pit road, you can never recover from it.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it interesting for us.
Hey, it makes it fun for us. Ryan Johnson going to lead us back to green in the 78. Ken Hansen there in second. Steve Grant, Trey Donahue, Jason San Diego, your top 5. We'll go back green on lap 61 of 94. It'll be 35 laps to go. Field behind our Dodge Charger safety car. Again, folks, can't thank you enough for tuning in. Make sure if you haven't already, leave a like on the video and subscribe. Say hello as well if you haven't said that already. Make sure you tell Bristol he's a good boy in chat. He appreciates it when you do. As Dodge Charger pace car, safety car comes down the pit lane. Gives way to Ryan Johnson. He'll have control here for the restart. Coming to lap 61 of 94, and we're back underway.
Tell you that 78 is so good on the bottom on restarts. He's just pulling away from Ken.
Now, we've seen this with the 78 KJ. He's really good on the short runs, but then can be lackluster on the long runs. Is running the bottom line an indicator of that?
You're definitely a lot more tighter to get down that bottom like that. So it's technically a short run setup because you can be tighter. You're going to burn the tires off a little more on the bottom. The high side is you got to be more free, but it saves the tires a lot. But with the way the laps are left, you can split this up so you can afford to run harder. If you got a short run set, you can run it till it falls off, then pit, put tires on, and run it again as hard as you want. So he's in a good position. It just depends on what happens here the last 30 laps.
You wouldn't be worried about some of those cars that just pit, maybe trying to make it to the end of this race?
Yeah, they're on the fringe of making it. They're going to have to probably clutch and save a little bit. But the position he's in, you just got to go. You got to run hard as you can. Then if caution comes out, you still got your track position. Everybody's going to pit again anyway. Or if it goes green, you just got to play the hand you were dealt.
Hansen closing in, bringing Steve Grant with him in the 11. That 94 going to have a run down here to turn 1. Doesn't take it, backs off. Takes the high line approach. Again, saving tires versus being aggressive on those Goodyears. You're seeing it play out here at the front of the field. Hansen with another big run, this time down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Looked to the inside for a moment. Thought wiser of it. Johnson sends the 78 down into turns 3 and 4. And again, here comes the 94 on the outside. Going to have a run down the front.
It's interesting what Ken tries to do here because you can see the run he's generating. Ryan beats him down into the corner, but you can see Ken's inner exit. He just, all that momentum he builds. I wonder if he can actually run the bottom or not because he hasn't tried it yet. But if you run down there and you don't pass him, you're going to get passed by the guy behind you. So I think he's just kind of biding his time right now by the looks of it. He's kind of testing the waters and see what it's doing.
Well, you might as well at this point, right? Still a long ways to go in this race. You kind of saw the rash of cautions we just got. Why not ride out the storm a little bit here? Don't let them see your move either. I mean, you might only have one if you're the 94, and you're sitting there on the back bumper of the 78 with how good that car is on the bottom.
Yeah, I think the best move you can do is just let him pull you around and save some gas. But yeah, you don't want to show your hand too early because he knows what's coming. You kind of want to keep him guessing a little bit, like Ken's doing. He ducks low a little bit, then he runs high, just to keep him mirror driving. Maybe he'll make a mistake and make it easy to get around it. But he's got a run right here off turn 1. Oh, he blocked it.
He had to run, and I think he had to let off there because that 78 was coming up the track. He cut him a break.
This point in the race, you still cut him a break. If that had been 5 to go, it's kind of hard.
He's
to
in
cut
the
that
wall.
break. Yeah, you're going to hook him to the wall.
Steve Grant's just sitting there in 3rd right now. A couple Team Speedlan teammates there, riding out the back of your top 5 in the 11, the 22, and the 925.
You can really see where Ryan's running this lower lane. It's stacking the field up now. Now the top 5 are all over each other. But it goes back to Keith being out. These guys are racing for points, so he can't afford to give that spot up. That's 5-10 points right there.
Can't afford to give the spot up, and also these guys behind him that they're running quicker. You talked about it. If you jump to the inside line and you can't make the pass work, well, you're going to get freight trained on the outside. And if you're Hansen right now, you're sitting in 2nd, you can't, there's the 11 of Steve Grant. He's behind you in points. There's the 22, Jason San Diego. He's not in the chase, but he's definitely going to try to help his teammate who is. And now Rick Castle joining in the fray in 6th, and Herman Reese is closing in 7th. So, as you said, the 78 taking the inside line, Hansen being patient, and the 94 in 2nd, trying to make a move. Now, down of course, I said he's patient, and then he makes a move, KJ. That's how you guys always seem to work. I say one thing, and then you do the opposite. I really appreciate that, just so you know. And Hansen takes the pass. I mean, hey, takes the lead. Now he's running, right?
Yeah, you want to go now. If you got Ryan's a little slower, he's going to hold guys up for you. You just want to take off and get as far away from them as you can before that next guy passes it.
Steve Grant going to follow Hansen's lead in the 94. He made that crossover move. Now, doesn't use the 78 up, but definitely comes up the track a little bit. Makes Ryan Johnson think twice. They'll be side by side. No scratch that. Steve Grant clears him by the... There's on his chinny chin down into turn 1. But here comes the 78. Another big move down on the bottom. I think that 11 car is going to be able to pull the outside now.
I think that's a bad move for the 78 because he might get freight train now.
Jason San Diego going to go on by for third. Johnson going to give it another send down into the corner. And that's that differing philosophy on the setups, right?
Yeah, that bottom's really good on restarts and short runs, but as the run goes, you got to be able to slowly work your way to the top. That's what makes this track so fun. There's multiple lanes on restarts, middle of the run, end of the run. Track's got speed everywhere. It just matters how you set the car up.
So Ken Hansen is your new race leader. Steve Grant is second. Jason San Diego right now rounding out your podium. Ryan Johnson, Wiley King, your top 5. You're watching JTN's coverage of the HOBO Racing Cup Series. Of course, tonight presented by our friends at Team Speedlan, as they celebrate their 25th anniversary. They're right now going to be looking to occupy 2nd through 4th as Wiley King looks for the 4th spot to the inside of Ryan Johnson. Johnson comes down a little bit. Things got close there off of turn 2, but Wiley King completes the pass. Herman Reese also going on by the 78. Rick Castle in the 124 gets on by as well. So for Ryan Johnson, he has fallen from the lead back into the 7th spot in the span of 4 laps.
Yeah, would that classify as free falling?
Well,
he's still running that bottom. He's committed to it, but I just don't see the speed down there this part of the run. And the thing about running that bottom too, Joe, is you get in the corner so good, you gain about 2 or 3 car lengths, and you feel like you're the man. And then about the time you hit that center, you just see him running right past you again. Everything you gain, you lose.
it's a cycle.
Yeah, kind of like a little rubber band effect. You gain a lot on entry, you lose a lot on exit.
Here comes Steve Grant in the 11. He is closing in on Ken Hansen right now in this 94, ever so slightly. That 11 car looks a little bit stronger right now.
Herman Reese is taking 4th place too right now, so he's the guy on the move.
Battle for the lead. Steve Grant takes the top spot down into turn 3. As you said, Herman Reese now up into 4th in the 73, and he's moving as well. Greg says you're better than Dale Jr., KJ.
What was that, Joe?
Greg in chat says you're better than Dale Jr. in the booth. Just saying.
I can start screaming and stuff like he does if you want me to. Get that high-pitched voice. I thought about saying slide job right there. He kind of put a little bit of a slide job on it.
He did. We don't want to be too derivative, though.
I mean, that's what you got to do. That's how you complete the pass here. You get in front of that guy and take that high line away from him. You make him change lanes or lift, and the pass is yours. I appreciate the compliment, by the way. Thank you.
It's funny, we'll have people on here, they'll tell us we're better than Fox or we're better than NBC or whatever. We always appreciate it. And then I sit there and think, wow, if those companies, if they just take a little bit of what we do here and not like the crazy screaming all the time like some folks do. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes they scream so much you just can't understand what they're saying, or you can't focus on it, or it's not as exciting if you're constantly screaming
No,
everything.
exactly. Like, what if I was screaming this whole time? We're having an excellent battle for the lead. Ken Hansen's still in the tire tracks of Steve Grant. They're still kind of like heavyweight fighters right now at the front of the field. You know, they're in the first round of the fight. They're going back and forth. A little left hook, a little jab, a little... But nothing, no knockout blows right now. Because there's still 12 laps to go at the line, so... You don't scream yet. Now, the last lap, we're going to be taking a different tone, aren't we, KJ?
Oh yeah, you're gonna be turn the volume up to 11 all the way around.
I try to get this through people's heads. They just don't understand it. You know, like...
You're gonna be like Crofty on the F1 race when the first lap of the race, just constantly screaming the whole lap. Nothing going on, and you're screaming.
I mean, that's the only time anything's going on in those races, right? Hey, yo.
Yeah, here this season, yeah.
Max.
There was that one race where he didn't, wasn't up front. That was one.
Wiley King and Duke Sorensen both on pit lane. Ryan Johnson has also pit. So again, we don't think these leaders, they can make it. Right?
The top two, no. Or top three, no. Herman, I'm listening to Herman's car. It don't sound like he's running all the way as hard as he can. It sounds like he's saving a little bit. He's probably in the catbird seat right here of making it. He's going to be close, but I think Herman's going to make it. Yeah, just watching him, Joe, he's running a lot lower than what he was earlier. He's lifting a lot more than what he was earlier. It sounds like he's trying to save a little bit of fuel without losing too much lap time.
Gonna get to the outside of Jason San Diego here for third. Complete that pass down into the corner. I think Jason starting to realize what's happening there. The 94 is on pit lane.
I think he missed pit road, Joe. It looked like he was trying to pit and he just missed it.
Oh no. Here comes the 73, the 22, the 11, all down pit lane.
Oh, never mind. Ignore what I said then.
Well, you know. What I tell you, I said these drivers, they always make liars out of me in the booth. Well, welcome to the other foot.
Curious to see who takes what. Do we see no tires? Somebody's going to take two, but it's
No tires. Splash and go, KJ. Splash and go. Get me out of there. No tires. No tires.
well. Steve didn't pit either earlier, so he's got more fuel he needs to take.
I'm Lightning McQueen. I'm telling him no tires. Oh, he's taking two. Oh, no. Oh,
They're
Herman's
both
taking
taking
two. Okay. All right. We're good. I hate it. You know, I'm going to tip my cards a little bit. I hate it when guys lose races when we're calling them. You know, it's different when it's like a NASCAR race, right? But when we're calling these races, when guys lose a race because they took two and the guy that they were racing with didn't take any, I don't know. Sometimes it just makes me a little sad. Frustrates me. Does that make sense?
I'm a Harvick fan. He's always married to four tires. Sometimes I'm like, dude, just take no and I'll take two, but he always takes four, and he's lost so many races because of that.
Well, Ken Hansen, he's gotten by both the 20 or both the 11 and the 73 as Herman Reese looking to the inside of Steve Grant. They're both trying to get back up to speed. They're battling for what is the second spot as things cycle through. Herman Reese going to be able to take that spot away from Steve Grant. Ken Hansen going to cycle through to your race leader, I believe. Is everyone pit, KJ? Or do we still have cars out there?
Yeah, there's still a couple who haven't pitted yet. Mav's still out there, unless he just pitted.
Oh, man.
He might be going for it.
Oh, man. I think... Oh, nope, he's pitting. Here he comes.
Every time we say something.
Every time.
They do the opposite.
Hey, someone do something fun. They do the opposite. They're like, nah. Pino's on pit lane. So Hinsky in the 14, I believe, is going to be your race leader now.
Rod's still out there, too. The 19, he's still going for it.
And he's catching the 14. He's clutching.
Yeah. Yeah, Rod's got such a huge lead. He can clutch half a lap and still be perfectly fine.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's clutching all the way corner entry, all the way to corner exit. He's clutching that hard.
Oh, man. 3 to go. Do you believe in miracles?
I believe in that clutch pedal. Hey, he can give up 11 seconds a lap to Ken and still be fine.
Can he make it to the end? Rod West, they're going to be coming to 2 laps to go here. DJ Hinsky in second, also still out on track in the 14. 2 to go for Rod Weston. Oh my goodness. These are the ones too, KJ. There's not much I can do to like puff this up in the booth, you know, like really, won't he? That's the question I'm asking. That's the question you're asking.
It's slow building drama.
It is indeed. Coming to the line for our Death Craver 1 to go. Rod Weston with the race lead. He just has to make it just over a mile. Now as he heads off of turn number 2, can he make it around to the line in this number 19 car? KJ.
I think he's good. He's clutching again. If he just has power coming off the corner, he's good. He's still under power too. He's got it.
Rod Weston stretches the fuel, and he will win it from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. What a drive. Rod Weston, your race winner here tonight in the 19.
Oh, now the only question is, does he have enough fuel for a burnout?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe. He's rolling. Wow. That's incredible. Rod Weston, DJ Hinsky, and Ken Hansen, your top 3 after this one. Herman Reese and Steve Grant going to round out your top 5. Oh, man.
I got to give it to Rod. That boy, Rod. Rod's had some rough luck. And all that talk about everybody we were talking about. And guy comes out of nowhere and steals it.
And I think he's out of fuel now.
He had just enough.
Hey, that's all you can ask for, right?
Ain't no point in taking it back home with you. You can't use it.
He's coasting around right now, folks. We're going to work on getting results on your screens at home. Again, cannot thank you enough for tuning in here tonight. KJ, can't thank you enough for stopping up here in the booth with us. I know it was a disappointing night for you in the 029 team, but glad you made the best of it with us up here. Again, can't thank you enough for your help.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Anytime. I have fun up here. So it was good. It was good to be in the booth and watch Rod win. Rod winning is perfectly fine with everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody will help him push that car back to the pit road.
Every man on every crew gonna be giving him a high five down pit lane, or is that a little too much?
That might be a little too much. Pushing the car back's enough.
Okay, fair enough. KJ, can't thank you enough. And again, buddy, always a pleasure talking with you. And again, thanks for the help tonight. Sorry about the run, but hope to see you out on track throughout at Martinsville in 2 weeks, and then over on Thursday nights.
Yeah, I'll see you at Phoenix.
Heck yeah. Julian Wilson, a.k.a. is our Kilojoules, driver of the 029. He was our help up here in the booth tonight. We're going to wait for our top 3 to make their way down into the media center after what was a crazy finish to this one. Rod Weston taking home the checkered flag here tonight. Folks, again, if you liked what you saw, make sure you hit the like button. I mean, it's that easy. Remember to support us here on JTN by making sure you're subscribed. You can also follow us on our social media at JoeTowNetwork on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitch. Results going to be on your screens. We wait for those drivers to make their way into the media center. We're going to go ahead and get a word with our friends from Auto Sim 2. Have you ever wanted to manage your own racing team? Or what if you could go back in time to see if a particular season could have finished differently? Well, folks, have no fear because Auto Sim 2 is here. With fully customizable roster files, you can create your own world or try to recreate the past. Heck, you could even try to predict the future through Auto Sim 2's Sim mode. Don't like the passive approach? Well, then get more hands-on in owner mode, where you decide who drives your cars and what companies will sponsor them. Down on your luck? Well, then scout some new talent that will get you to the top. Already super successful? Try moving up the ladder or expanding to truly solidify your racing empire. However you want to play, AutoSim 2 has you covered and is now available for purchase through the Steam store for $9.99. Now go make your mark and build your legacy in AutoSim 2. Again, folks, AutoSim 2 is now available on Steam for $9.99. We encourage you to go check it out. Let's go ahead and head down into Victory Lane and talk with the driver of the number 19 Mellow Yellow Dodge, Rod Weston. Rod, you got a copy?
Absolutely.
Well, Rod, a huge victory for you and this 19 team here tonight. How did you stretch the fuel there at the end?
I was clutching it. I literally did probably about 2-3 laps into that run. I looked at the fuel mileage and I'm 2 laps out. And I'm looking ahead of me and I'm not catching the guys. I'm out of the draft. And I said, well, I got an idea. Let's just try it. So I started clutching it at the last light. And I said, I don't think I'm going to make it, but we'll see what happens. And lo and behold, I started running down Dion, and Dion was still under the same strategy. And I was like, okay, cool. And then the guys pitted, and they started coming around us, and they got around Dion, and they kind of slowed him down a little bit. I got to the back of him, and I'm like, wow, I think Dion can do it. And all of a sudden, he pulled down, let me go. And I'm like, I don't know if he can do it. And I don't even know if I can do it. Worked out.
I was going to say you did it. What does I know it's late in the year, and it's been an up and down season for you in this 19 team. How much does a win kind of, I don't like talking in terms of salvage, but how much does a win late in the year kind of help put a bright spot on what has been a roller coaster of a season?
Any win's a bright spot. But yes, I race go-karts in real life, and so I've had some injuries from that. That's kind of prevented me from running. If you might have noticed last week, I kind of got out early, just trying to get my shoulder back in. And obviously the people that out there that don't know, I am paraplegic and I have to race with my hands. So a win anytime here is remarkable. The talent pool that we have here, it is so hard to catch a win, and I've gotten a couple of these from fuel mileage, and luckily today that it worked out for me.
Well, Rod, again, a great victory here tonight for you, this 19 team. Congratulations on pulling the strategy to perfection. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity. You got great partners on the car, got great folks cheering you on. Floor is yours. You know what to do.
Thanks, buddy. I obviously got to thank Maliola for coming aboard and Dodge. I got to thank my daughter, Mackenzie, who's always out there supporting me, my crew chief, Jim Carley, my car chief, Rick Paul, and obviously Hobo Racing. I'm really glad to see they're going to come back again for another year of racing NASCAR 2003. And we can't do this without the JoeTowNetwork. You guys are awesome. I appreciate everything you do, buddy.
Well, Rod, again, can't thank you enough for your time after this one. As always, it's a pleasure getting the opportunity to talk with you. Buddy, go celebrate this one. A big win here tonight from Homestead. Again, can't thank you enough for your time. And, yeah, go let loose, buddy.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very much over here, so it's great. You have a good one, bud. Thank you very much.
Rod Weston, driver the number 19, your race winner here tonight from Homestead. Let's go ahead and next bring in our third place finisher. He's the driver of the number 94, Ken Hansen. Ken, you got a copy?
I got you.
All right, man, I got to ask it. Strategy there at the end, 19 and the 14, they both pull the proverbial rabbit out of the hat. They save the fuel to make it to the end. Did you ever give that strategy a thought, or was it always going to be run it hard and come down pit lane and see where the cards fall?
The elusive win gets away at the end of the season, let me tell you. I did not know that they were in the lead until I was waiting for the spotter to say, "You're clear," like you're in first place. And I'm going, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I finally look, and there's 2 cars way out there. I was, oh, they're saving fuel. I was telling my teammate, I was like, you should save fuel, man. Go in, get some fuel. And he didn't do it. And I was like, he could have been there right within those guys. I was like, But no, I wasn't thinking that at all. I was going all out, obviously, being up there.
How much fun, though, was this race tonight? We saw some great battles there in that last green flag run with you and Steve, Grant in the 11. Herman Reese also getting involved in those battles, too. How much fun, and also you were one of the guys that was running up through the field in the early part of this race. How much fun is this racetrack and kind of having that ability to move up and down the banking?
Oh, absolute blast. I still wish the bottom line worked as good as some other tracks. I wish they all worked good, but the middle, like once you got the tires up to temp and everything, the middle ran just as fast as the top, so it was a blast. Definitely passing through traffic and everything. Crazy.
2 races left in the season. I know is getting that elusive victory kind of the 1A goal, and then 1B is to try to maybe get back into this championship hunt with only 2 races left. You're gonna come out of here with some points gained for sure with the troubles the 28 team had.
Well, I hope to have both, but we'll see how the cards fall.
Okay, and again, a great run here tonight. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity. Got great partners on the car, got great folks cheering you on. The floor is yours. You know what to do.
All right. Well, thanks for what you do, and thanks for BCR for having a fun-ass league. I swore, sorry.
You're good.
And shout out to my teammates over at Speed Racing. We had a heck of a setup. And thanks to everyone that raced clean and fun.
Okay, and again, as always, a pleasure talking with you. Can't thank you enough for your time after this one. And again, congratulations on the 3rd place finish.
Thank you.
And Hanson, driver of the number 94, your 3rd place finisher here tonight. Let's go ahead and turn our attention to our 2nd place finisher here tonight. He's the driver of the number 14, DJ Hinsky. Dion, buddy, 2nd place run. How's it feel?
Hey, how about that? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Yeah, I don't run a lot of the open stuff, obviously. And actually this setup was something that probably was in the archives, and I just brought it out. And in having a new wheel, I went to a Moza direct drive.
Ooh.
I don't know, about July or something like that. I don't know. So previously being on a TSW, some of the setups work, some of them don't. Obviously, this one wasn't great, but speed wasn't the object, obviously.
I mean, you bring up a good point there with like switching the wheels. How challenging is that? What are kind of the little nuances, especially with going to a direct drive wheel, for maybe some folks out there that aren't familiar with kind of the technical aspect of sim racing?
So the direct drive wheel, and I years ago I had a earlier version of a force feedback wheel, but obviously not a direct drive because it was, I don't know, 20 years ago. But the feel is in the wheel, so you can actually feel the tires either grip or lose grip, and it tell the difference between a push and the back end of the car wanting to come around. I feel like on a direct drive better than I can what I remember on the force feedback. Force feedback was just like jerking the wheel around. The direct drive actually has like steering feel, like you get from a chassis input, to me.
So,
Good.
I'm trying to formulate the question here.
Yeah.
I'm
Now
saying,
the pedals I'm running, I'm just running I actually got the R5, and I think Steve and I don't know if anybody else got the Moza, got the R9, which all that means is that the amount of force at the wheel is either 5 Newton meters or 9 Newton meters. And I'm not a metric dude, but 9 is bigger than 5, so it's just more force. And you don't need that much, you know?
right. So it's like, because like that, so that would be the like the moment of like steering the wheel, right?
How
Is-
much the wheel
Right.
can induce as far as like friction, how hard it is to turn, or how much if like road racing, if you hit a bump and it wants to bring the steering wheel back, it's like how much force.
It's gonna do to.
But right, and you can adjust all that. I didn't run a lot of what you would call drag or feel in it tonight, just enough to have some feel in the steering wheel. We started that last stint. The first stint, we had that really early caution. Nobody else or very few pitted. So I think Rod probably did. So we hit pit road at the last minute. So that first whole stint, we could run about 9 laps longer than everybody else.
Right.
Now, did that make any difference in the middle? No. But later on, and I had 3 incidences where I got damaged, and I was like, son of a gun, man, I got to fix this. And then at the end, I was 10th or 11th on the restart, and I was, I'm going to be 3 laps short. And just through running in traffic and slowing up, it's like, oh, now I'm only 2 short. And then it was looking like, well, if I start easing up and kind of running the draft here, I may be okay. And then the last 15 laps was so hard to run. Everybody started pitting there, and I was running like 155 mile an hour. And I'm like, oh, this is painful. But I saw Rod back there, and I hit the key, and I looked over, and it's like, man, I am so close on fuel. I was going to try and run him out, but I'd have been out of gas because last lap I ran out coming into turn 3. It was sputtering and missing. So
Does you mentioned it at the top there, the not unfamiliarity or whatever you want to call it with the open setup racing, does it make it a little bit easier to make that call to go to the fuel save strategy? I mean, is that
it obviously I don't run every week with these guys. In this mod, I may run, like Herman and some of them guys run most every night that I'll run, the fixed setup nights. So, and I've run with these guys enough to know that they're not going to hack you off or run you hard into the wall or something like that. By the same token, I'm not in the points for the open setup. So I can afford to make a call like that. And I'm not going to run with the top, 5, 6 guys. So there's no sense in me dicing it up with them really and screwing their points up, especially this late, this late in the year. So, but a call like that was pretty easy. It's like, I got a shot at this.
Hey, fair enough. Well, Dion, great run for you here tonight. 2nd place finish. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity. I know you got some great partners with you in this 14 crew. Before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout them out. You know what to do.
Yeah, just thanks to you and your outfit there for being able to host these things, and Steve and the guys for allowing us to do this. And I know it's been hard on Steve trying to find some extra drivers and stuff like that. And our numbers are kind of decreasing, and he's looking for somebody. So if somebody's watching the video and this looks like something you'd like to do, contact Steve and come on out and give us a try.
Well, Dion, again, congratulations on the 2nd place run here tonight. Pleasure getting the opportunity to talk with you. Hope we get to talk with you more here. And again, buddy, can't thank you enough for your time.
Hey, thanks, Joe. You enjoy your day.
Thanks. DJ Hinsky, driver, the number 14. Your 2nd place finisher here tonight from Homestead. Folks, we can't thank you enough for tuning in here tonight. Remember, if you haven't already, click the like button on the video and subscribe. A big thank you again has to go out to our friends at Team Speedlan for being our presenting sponsor of tonight's race, last week's race, and 2 weeks from now when we head to Martinsville with our friends here at the HOBO Racing Cup Series. Remember, you can follow us on our social media at JoeTowNetwork as well, on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, all those. We're on every platform. Check us out at JoeTowNetwork. All that being said, though, folks, for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, I've been Joe Twansky. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks.
Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh! Turn 4 into the trial. Whitehill and through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
Off the ride and a wrecking behind him. You have cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down. It doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won a Daytona in the 3 car.
Behind, they're going to be side by side again. Contact there between Sinner and Bordeaux for third.
Contact! Oakley into the wall. That's going to be Jack Healy coming to the line.
Jack Healy wins the ride to